Hello and welcome to SGDC. Today is a very special SGDC. It's a very special day today. You know what day it is? Thursday! Great! I'm your tax-paying host, Prompt Engineer. If anyone needs some multiplayer in the game, I got my chat GPT.
Do you get it done on time?
Yeah?
Are you prompt?
Show your stuff. First off, up to show their stuff is Northern News with Max and Lucy.
Hello. Where are we? Loose. There you go.
Yes. All right. Hello, everyone. So we're gonna share some, minor news and an experience that we've been through this week. Okay. We called it having breakthroughs and climbing Everest.
Yeah.
Because we got like a big idea that really helped in terms of story, but turned into an Everest to climb for especially Max and I. So in terms of the breakthrough and how it really helps us make a better game, is that we used to have this campus that is the school campus where the game takes place, and at some point, spoiler alert, there's a time bubble that sort of like happens and a lot of complicating things, but it was all happening in one building. So we had like different version of one building, like, as you can see, so like 1900, 1970, etc. And the thing is that the characters had to fulfill this whole thing, this whole chapter, the second part of the game, in only this building. And it was a bit too constraining for Julia to write all of the payoff and everything in only one building. So what really helped, at least her, to feel more free to complete the story was to say, okay, we need to expand the time bubbles to the whole map.
It's cool.
Yeah, the whole campus. So, I know that Max was a little bit,
Overwhelmed.
Yeah, let's say that in front of the new scope. And it was all about, okay, we have some challenges ahead. Like, for example, it's demanding to review the whole project architecture and how we're going to make the scene still function if we have to pile all of them up. A lot more props and environment art that seems to be required, and technical challenges as well. But it was offering better narrative payoff, a more impactful experience, and it fixed some story issues that Julia had. So we were like, are we gonna go for it and
It's
at least
worth it,
try?
so, yeah.
And it feels like it might be worth it. So when we saw it at first, it was like the Everest that needed to be climbed in a few months, and it was like, is it possible at all? And we put some milestone and some elements of how can we cut it in smaller pieces and see if we can actually climb it. And we have some little nice name for things. And what we did is we decided to go on step by step and make a plan for it.
Yeah.
And Max took some time to look at what we had in our toolkit. And maybe you want to explain how you decide to tackle this big Everest mountain.
I was like, okay, so basically I don't want to redo everything. So it was basically to, the thing that we needed the most is to have the help of a tech artist, to go slowly, step by step, to not fall, and to take the assets that we have and try to repurpose everything. So not recreating everything. So I gave it up And basically, so everything is concept, right? It's blockouts and everything. But we had this library stuff that we had for 2003, and we're like, okay, but it doesn't really make sense because in the 1900s we really needed something that could be nice. So we transformed this one to a kind of a tiny church or a church. So it opened up like some ideas, like a cemetery, for example, that now opens up also into stories, helps Julia to build the story with it. And also, if we go inside, the idea was like, okay, so I need to create this this thing, but because I don't want to have like many buildings, what I did is just make one and add more stuff. So it's like you have the 1900s, the 2003, which is the library, and it will change, but it's only basically the inside. And also for the movement of the character, you basically start with this, and then you have like more possibility to work because now there's another stair, there's another floor. So yeah, the whole goal of the week was like to find strategies to have basically everything that we already have, or like repurpose the thing that we had and create multiple environments in it.
Yeah, and I think there was the idea of having like the two extreme ones, like the one that we have at the beginning of the game, 2003 and 1900, and the other time are gonna be like in-between version where we use the same object, just they grew old, like they got older or broken along the the years and stuff like that. But we have our two main ones, and then we just take a little bit of each. So that way it doesn't mean we have to do it 4 times. We just sprinkle from the two main ones.
And to play also with shaders a lot to change a bit between the time zones, and also like the global volumes, like colors, textures, and everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the textures are gonna help us. So
that was a big week.
Yeah, I hope it made sense because it's a bit complicated with the whole time areas mixing up.
But you'll see.
But it's
gonna be fine. It'll be self-explained. Voilà.
Okay.
Yep.
With you expanding the time kind of eras to the entire map.
Yeah.
Do you picture yourself actually having the entire map exposed, or putting some blockages here and there on parts of the map or something in different eras?
So that's a good question. It's like now the idea is to open the whole thing, so Julia can walk around and like create her story like in this, and then we'll see if we really need everything.
And narratively, we can also cheat a little bit and say, like, for example, this doesn't exist at this time, and it's just forest. So that way we have one less building to take care of, stuff like that, and it wouldn't be weird or like all of a sudden you have like this wall that doesn't let you go through.
So the building starts off as a church and then becomes a school.
No, this is so the school is another thing. The building, it was actually just a library, and then we decided to it became a library after being a church, so it can open stuff like that. So they just like
it gives story to the building also, and it helps the lore crystallize a little bit and be more impactful from having like past to buildings and not just like characters and story. So I think it can help.
How much of the story is already done? Like, when you're building like a cemetery, is it because there's already plans for the story to take place there, or is it?
That's the thing with the games that we make. There's always like space and place to improvements or to add stuff, and we just like build some things like, oh, that could be nice. I mean, I would say the main story is kind of there, but then it's like, oh, this could be nice. It could be, give more lore to the whole thing,
and Julia really has talent to click things together. Like, there's a cemetery, of course this is where it clicks in the story, and it like enhances what she already had in terms of structure. So she really has more inspiration when she has a scene to walk into and to see things around, and it's like, okay, this and that, and this is how it's happening, instead of having just a blank page and having to imagine everything from scratch. So I think it's part of the process that Julia finds more interesting. Yeah.
Voilà. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Next up, Brian.
Thank you. Put a timer on for myself as well. So today I'm going to do something a little bit different. Usually I'm either sharing audio design or some composing, but I thought it would be interesting if I evangelized about a particular piece of software that I use called Soundly, which I have temporarily installed and will remove after SGDC. And I will also open a portable version of Reaper, which is the DAW I use. That's just installed in this folder. So I use Soundly basically. This is a free trial version of Reaper. Soundly is it's a kind of like an organized kind of library of sound effects that you can get access to through its Pro license. The topic of this talk is how to put myself out of a job for 90 days. I say that because currently Soundly has a free 3-month trial that you can use using a promo. And this would be particularly useful during game jams if you're allowed to use this type of tool. But basically the Pro version, which you have access to for 3 months, has a bunch of sounds that you can look up with metadata and various other things. I don't know, need impact or something. If I could spell it, would be great. Impact, and you just click on a thing, and so you'll get a fair amount of sound. And the good thing about this is you can just click and drag it into the software.
What?
Let me put this in dual window mode so it's a lot easier. So you can just click and drag it into the software and it does it. Let's say I want to bullet impact or something. I'll just drag that in as well. I'm using it in Reaper because it's just a lot easier to do it on a multi-track kind of thing. So you can also do things like affect pitch. Where is the pitch slider in this?
Can you avoid whispering in the back? It hears very loudly in here.
Yeah. That would be great, thank you. Let's see. Where is it? No, just go over there. Go over there. Very Irish sounding there. So this will play back pitch. Oh, that's way too low percentage. So you can audition it here in a lower pitch, and if you drag it out at the lower pitch, it automatically is a lower pitch. So you can do that. Bunch of other stuff. You can do EQing, which is like rolling off frequencies or something. If something sounds too bright, you could just roll it off, and so it's just muffled. Drag that in as well as it is, and it will do the effect for you. That's if you don't want to mess around with like effects and stuff in a DAW and you're not familiar how to use them. You can do a lot of it on the Soundly end. Another great thing about it as well is that if you have a bunch of sound effects that you've acquired, for instance, GDC has a bunch of free sound effects bundles you can get every year. You can download all of those, point to the directory with Soundly, and it will, it'll catalog all of that for you as well. So you can have your own sound libraries as well as the available ones online. There are ones that you can buy, but there's a fair amount available with the actual version that's, the Pro license. I know it's like $15 a month, and you're entitled to kind of use the sounds and in your games and commercial projects while you're doing it, and even after the thing expires, as long as you've used it during that time, it's fine. But I can't praise this software enough. Like, it's not perfect, no, but like it's really good for getting ideas done quickly, or layering stuff in software, or even in a game jam where you just want to just grab some sounds. You can even just drag the segment of a thing into Windows Explorer and it will make a file for you as well there, if you just want to just use that. I'm nearly out of time. There's technically I don't really use it, but there's like technically AI voice generation stuff. Some people have been known to use in game jams where they instead of like making the sound, they make a placeholder where it says door open, door close, and then they just implement those sounds just so that they're annoyed by them during the game jam and then just swap them out. But they know that the thing has been implemented because they've named it after what they wanted to do. That's a use. I wouldn't use the AI voice otherwise, but yeah, that's a thing. I'm pretty much about 20 seconds left. Has anybody got any questions? Yep, Matt.
Okay, this is sick, first of all.
Mm-hmm. That's feedback. Of the software, not me, but...
No, but that's impressive, because for so you said like how much it costs?
$15 a month if you go monthly. I can't remember how much it is for a year, but you can just buy a year, which is a bit cheaper. I think maybe 10 months cost.
And the licenses is okay for games, even though if you make money with it?
Yeah. As far as they're really like pushing it towards films and games and stuff. I haven't read the like exhaustive print, but they're very, you know,
Okay.
it just seems like you can just use it. I bloody hope so, because I've been using it a lot.
No, but it was the same thing with, for example, Uplist. But now they're asking 10K per year
Okay.
to use the.
There's
same
nothing
games.
about like that kind of, no kind of fee structure like that or
Okay.
anything like that,
Sick.
you know. You can drag it also directly into Fmod, I've found as well, and do things like that if you're using Fmod. If you want to just, and you know, can just, there's a lot of shortcuts for skipping through these things. These lines here are called zero crossings. That's where, you know, kind of like the files are kind of like divided within themselves and just export, drag a whole bunch of things in or just what you need. Any other questions?
Yep.
Yeah.
The software itself is free, right?
Software itself is free. There is a free tier of it as well, where you have limited access to less. So you could just try it out even before trying the promo. The promo is, I think, valid until July 1st. So I'll post about it in the Discord. You just search up Soundly promo, and it's just a matter of you sign up for an account. You don't put any payment information in. Mm-hmm. They don't even require that. So you're not going to accidentally leave your payment on, like, renewing and then. Mm-hmm. But yeah, any other questions? Cool. Thank you.
Alright, next up, the original Flanster.
Hello. It's funny you say that. My sister's visiting, who's also a flan. Not yet, soon.
She's not yet a flan.
No, she is a flan. Flan's my last name, sort of. I'm completely lost. What am I doing? Oh yeah, presenting.
Porter cannot run Doom.
I put this build together about an hour ago during a magic draft. I'm a little tired. I'm winning as well. Oh yeah, so what am I doing? I'm going to show you some stuff I've been working on in Kotor 1996. This is our new apartment 9, and they're sort of a map maker with, well, I mean, I'll just click on some things and show you some of the stuff that we've been doing over the past few weeks, and some of the stuff that I just bashed out today. Yeah, so we have a computer now, and this is why my SGDC title thing was Kotor can't run Doom yet, but maybe soon. This was completely outside of the scope, but I just felt like, why don't we have every single key be individually possible? I mean, I was doing the sprites, and then I was like, oh, it's easier to draw them if they're on separate layers, and then I thought, oh, I've drawn them all separately, I may as well import them as separate button objects in Unity. I've gone a little bit mad this week, yeah, so now I'm hoping that players don't think that like they can start doing stuff with this, because maybe I need to add some secrets or something. Anyway.
Sure, that's what I'm called.
Anyway, there's no mouse, the bag's in the way. You can... No, you shouldn't turn that. Oh, I thought I changed that. But yeah, you're not meant to turn it off because I couldn't think of a way to make it not take too long. You can turn the screen off. Yeah, we've got some programs, like this one, which... I can't log in, I don't know the password, I can't type anything, but as is the way with our game, you can sort of click on objects and things to get little thoughts and snippets from other people's lives. So this is the way you're introduced to the resident of our new apartment. And so now, if you go and find a message by them, you'll get their sort of, I didn't show it, but before you've seen that, if you get like a voice thing, you'll get like a unknown, like who is this? I don't know. So that's sort of how we meet them, and then we've got a few more programs. They're all very like nothing works. It's so I'm a fair way off due, but you know you can do some things here. This I scribbled out this afternoon. Yeah, this all makes perfect sense to you, right? Yeah, so we've got some maps, and I don't know, some of the things here might sort of correlate with the stuff on the computer, and it might be a bit magical. And there's definitely a bit more that we need to do. Oh yeah. There's a bit more we need to do with like the pacing, and also I've just dumped everything in the scene. This is going to sort of appear over time, so like you first come here and there's not everything in front of you all at once, because yeah, I just got this done. So yeah, I can start like yeah, this is not how you hold the thing. I don't know. I've made some slop. There's a whole like little mini game here which literally only started working about an hour or two ago. I made some slop again. Wait, what's the recipe? I forgot what the recipe was. Let's do some of that and some of that. Yeah, there we go. Hey, I made blue. I'm tired. Here's some blue. Yeah, this is what you can expect from the new apartment in Kottara. It's somebody who's into maps and photography and mixing photography fluids, and I didn't do any research, I just was like, mix the things, it's fun. That's it, that's what I wanted to show. So, this doesn't work. I'm going to open up the wishlist page, because that's a thing that Mariana would want me to do. There we go. Wishlist on Steam. There's a demo. You can play apartment. You can play the first apartment, apartment 5. It's got a full, like a third of the explorable apartments in the demo, and we're adding 2 more soon. Questions? Good. I'm going to go to bed.
All right. Thank you. I sort of have a joke, but I feel like I'm also too tired to figure it out. It's something about apartmentalizing. Anyway, next up, Adrian.
All right. Yeah, I just want to quickly introduce myself. I arrived like a few days ago, and what I will be working on while I'm at Spiel. So, I'm Adrian. I grew up in Brittany, in France, in a lovely town called Fougères. But I live in Berlin for the past 8 years, where I'm also part of an indie collective that we have there called Saftladen. I was already in Spell like 1 year ago for 2 weeks, and I liked it so much that I decided to bring the whole Berlin delegation with me this time. So you might see these lovely people around who will introduce themselves afterwards. But about me, I make multiplayer games. This was the first one that I released in 2022 called The Matriarch. Basically, you are pretending to be a cult follower, and you have to escape a satanic convent and an evil matriarch who's trying to kill all the sinners. And for the past 2.5 years, I've been working on kind of another one called The Masquerade. That was the one I was working on last year, where it's more like I like to describe it as a bloody version of Where is Waldo, where basically you have a lot of characters on screen and you have to, like everyone has a mask, so every player has a target, and every player is a target of another player as well. And so yeah, it's a bit like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood multiplayer if you've played it, like back in the days, or the Ship Murder Party. But in parallel, a few months, like 6 months ago, I started another one, third one as well. So The Masquerade, I plan to release it like later this year. It's almost wrapped up. And now I started to work on another social deduction game where Basically, you are a group of survivors on an island after a plane crash, but there were already a group of like cannibals on the island, but you don't know who is whom, so you have to survive while eliminating the cannibals before they eliminate you. So yeah, I want to talk a bit more about this game and basically the challenge that I've been solving and that I will continue to solve during this stage. So the idea behind this game was, what if you make social deduction like Town of Salem or Among Us with Don't Starve Together, like survival mechanics? And what if instead of killing people directly, like in typical social deduction game, you deny them the resources that they need in order to survive like cold, hunger, or sickness? And what if instead of electing someone to kill, you elect a leader you trust to redistribute some resources? So yeah, the loop that I had in mind was like you gather elements to survive during the day, you sleep or steal some resources from other people during the night, then there is kind of this death check in the morning where if you're starving too much or if you're too cold, you may die, and then you have to elect like a camp leader to redistribute resources. And I went into the playtest thinking, yeah, it's gonna be super fun. I'm very excited about having confidence about my design. But actually it wasn't, and there wasn't a lot of emotions during the playtest, and so I had to take a big step back, and I created this mirror trying to understand why are people not having fun, and how can I make it more fun? And so that was something I was trying to tackle the past few weeks. And basically it boiled down to two big things, like problems, slowly dying from resource starvation, and the lack of direct threat is not really exciting, and it doesn't build like this feeling of paranoia that I intended. And the best strategy like for playtester was to play selfishly, because that's how you can get most resources you need during the day and on your own, and you don't really need to rely on other people. And so I really wanted to have this very collaborative gameplay, but that didn't really happen. And like the leader role or like the stealing mechanics, I felt a bit irrelevant. So I made some big design changes to the game. For example, instead of dying from resource starvation, which again is a bit like anticlimactic, you get if you're starving or you're too cold, you kind of enter this vulnerable state. So you want to keep your energy as high as possible to not be in this state. And if you are vulnerable, then you have the cannibals. Whoever is a cannibal, which is the equivalent of an imposter, for example, in Among Us. Then they can kill you directly. So you have a bit more this paranoia of if you're walking around while being vulnerable, like anyone around you who could be a cannibal could kind of punish you. And to encourage more collaboration, instead of collecting and consuming resources on your own, I'm almost done, just one more slide. Like as a player, you still have to collect the resource on your own, but then you have to cook them, and then the whole pot and food is redistributed evenly to all the alive characters. So hopefully, that will help a bit with this aspect. So, plan to play test it like sometimes, maybe tomorrow if it's ready, like the new version of the game, if not next week. And I will post more about it in the Discord. Thank you. Question? Yes?
What's your favorite games?
Favorite games? Off the top of my mind, I would say FF9, Portal 2, what did I like recently? What did it? Indica. It was a weird one. How about Nuns as well?
Black Book?
Black Book was really good,
Matriarch.
No. Yeah.
I think I speak for all of us when I ask, like, not in a mean way, but very respectfully, because I am impressed. How in the heck did you come up with the idea for this thing from the start?
Like which one?
You know which one.
The Matriarch? No.
The other one.
Like the island game with the cannibal? So whenever I take the plane, I always imagine, what if this plane would crash and I will end up on an island with people, how would I behave? And I create all these scenarios in my head. And I've watched Lost, and I really like Lost always, one of my favorite TV shows. And so in the beginning, I didn't have cannibals in my head. I had like the others, a bit like in Lost as well, if you saw the show. They are exactly in this situation where most of them are like passengers. But then there is this weird guy, and nobody knows him, and he was actually already on the island, and there is like the whole, scenario that evolved. So I tried with that, but it didn't feel as as impactful to just have an other, right? It didn't feel very threatening. And then one of the things that really worked with the matriarch when I marketed it was like this very dark humor that is, very like impactful in a way. And so I was like thinking from more a marketing point of view. And then I thought, well, Cannibal, it's kind of shocking, but in a hopefully not in an offending way, but in a fun way, right? And I thought it could be a good way to both, increase the threat that you feel as a player when you play it, because it's more threatening, and also having something that is more marketable.
All right, thank you. Can we reskin one of your games? That's the Spelkollektivet simulator. All right. It's up Dave.
All right. So James, I might need a little hand. I'm not wearing the right glasses. I sent my deck to the Discordy bot thingy. As you can tell, I'm of an age a little bit older than most.
Here, no. Oh, yeah.
Perfect. All right, that works out really well. Hey everybody, I'm Dave. If these slides look really corporate, it's because I basically just took my pitch deck and cut out some stuff. But I wanted to introduce myself, and it's really great to be here and meet all you people. I've been in the games industry for about 20 years. This is kind of our team slide. If it seems cringe, it's because it's really corporate. That's how you have to do things. But the good news is I've been with quite a few members of my team for almost over a decade. And I've been working in Berlin for 10 years, working in mobile mainly. And I really like old genres, and I want to resurrect some old genres. And so there is some really fun gameplay that has a little bit of researches, but still I don't think has gotten the attention it deserves. So we're trying to bring it back. And I'll have a trailer for you here, and I hope it plays for you. It's called Skillshot Heroes. And it's based on Peggle, which was based on Pachinko. And a funny story about Peggle is it is the first casual game on Steam. And I know it's the first casual game on Steam because I bought the orange box, installed Steam, and it was the casual game I found on Steam. And they actually skinned it to look like Half-Life, which was actually super cool. And you can still play it today if you want to find an emulator. And so here is our trailer. Hopefully it's not too loud. Silent is good. Silent is great. I can talk over it, although I'm quite happy with the artist. And the idea, and this is an idea maybe you've seen with Peglin or a few other games, is that you're a plucky hero going against the forces of evil, and the Peggle gameplay is the battle itself. So you cast spells from the top of the screen, and they trickle down, and then you collect heroes to go on the journey with you. Funny story, 2025 has been a wild time to make a game studio. We've actually pivoted to being on web first. And so here, I completely threw away all the levels we had and started making new ones to actually reformat this as a roguelike, which was actually the original intention. I've been concepting this game since like 2015. And I'm actually really glad that it's getting back to its roguelike roots, because I think that's where it belongs. And if you want to check it out yourself, there's a QR code. And if you have Apple, that will take you to TestFlight, which is how these games are distributed on Apple. It's not public. And if you're on Android, that'll take you to the Google Play Store. But I'm not sure Sweden is on the list of countries that it's unlocked on. Yeah. So that's me, and that's the project. Is there any questions?
What's your favorite games?
Oh, that's impossible. I'll start with the game I fell in love with, which was Archon on the Nintendo 64. And Archon actually had another dead genre. This dead genre, I've actually talked to the creator of the genre. He called them the hybrid games. And the next title in that series was Star Control 1 and 2. And then it was super impossible to find Sega, not Sega game, PS2 game. It was called Unholy War. And it was essentially Tekken except also chess, which was really cool. That died out. It was too complicated for most people. So unfortunately, if I get a chance, I'll bring that back too, because it's a really great genre. Yeah, I love all games though. The thing I have the most hours in probably is Slay the Spire. I guess I could brag about it a little bit. I've reached the highest threat level, 20, I believe, with all of the characters. And now I'm just really waiting for the sequel. Yep.
Well, if you want to talk about games from the 1800s, you have Andreas.
All right, Andreas. We actually did talk about the Commodore. All right. It's really a pleasure to get you know many of you. There's too many faces to learn all in one trip, but great vibes here. I really do like it here. Question.
What state are you from?
I was born and raised in California, then spent 10 years in Colorado, but I'm working on my German accent because I've been living in Berlin for 10 years, and I want to make it my forever home. Actually, Alex is helping me apply for citizenship.
Cool. How long are you staying here for?
Well, only a week this time. Yes, but
Leaving tomorrow.
I am leaving tomorrow. But really, it was I'm a little bit older. I need a good bed. Wasn't sure how it was going to be, but now I know that this is really a great community, and I would feel very honored to be able to come back again. Yeah, thank you.
All right, thank you. Next up, Harry.
Okay. Now, I did this presentation and I've forgotten what's in it. Let's find out together. So, updates. Wow, cool slide. So some updates in terms of what I've been doing for the past few weeks while I've been here. So I said I was going to work on that VR Titan game. I kind of did, and I'm kind of not now. Don't worry about it. So, just a little bit on that. Top right corner, this game is really hard to record. It looks super unimpressive, but it's kind of impressive because we got a cool pathfinding thing working with a skinned mesh collider. Which means that we, got colliders working with skinned mesh colliders, which sucks to work with because it's not enabled by default. And we managed to get the little guides, which you can see there's like one little guy looping over and over again, basically moving over to a destination point based on the vertices on the mesh, which is cool. And in theory, we could create a whole like swarm system and have people actually moving up and down your body and stuff like that. We don't know how to scale it to that point yet though, and I'm too tired to figure it out. But what I have also implemented is this fun little system called BeamXR, which lets you basically stream. There's like a little monitor in the middle there, which is like what people who'd be watching the game would end up seeing. It's like a system to basically let you stream things directly from the MetaQuest headset without you needing a PC to do it. It's like to try to open up things to like YouTubers and stuff like that. There's some bugs with it, which I won't go. I'm tactically pausing there so I don't get into the bugs. But ultimately, I don't have a game, as you can see here, and I leave next week. Oh no! Have I failed at game dev? Let's find out. So this is a slide. I'm not going to go through it. You can probably watch it later. But I've realized VR sometimes isn't a lot of fun to develop for because it's kind of game dev hard mode. If I want to do a bunch of stuff in non-VR development, it takes like twice the many steps to get it working in VR. And also, I hate testing things in VR right now because it takes 10 steps to try and get it working, and then it fails whenever I put my laptop on sleep mode. So, yeah, I was like, do I not know how to do game dev? Is everything over? Am I a hack and a fraud? I decided instead, no, I'm going to go back to my roots. I'm going to work on a game that's actually, like, going to do some things. So Ollie sent me, my friend Ollie, who I'm working on VR Titan game with, also sent me this little character controller that he's been working on, and basically as the backup, if I start crashing out, work on this instead. Which is a weird, it's called like Bomb Bunny for now. It's like a fun little like character controller. You click somewhere on the screen and you like explode into a place. Lots of like bouncing, a lot of kind of like juicy stuff. And we want to kind of like make this a sort of getting over it style game. And Ollie basically gave me the project and pretty much said, screw around with it and like make things in it pretty much. Which I'm like, hell yeah, I love doing that. And I've managed to make a lot more progress on it. So there was a whole bunch of bugs with it, so I fixed them to like familiarize myself with the project. The ways that you would explode, it was actually like really tied to your resolution. So if you're on a 4K monitor, you could explode super far. If you're on a 1080p, you would like do a tiny hop. Fix that, screen to world point. We love that function. Also, I made a little edits to the character customization screen, so you can now fully do, like, make the character colorful and all that. This is through an asset called Flexible Color Picker. That's like the best color picker asset I've ever seen. It's just a prefab that just completely just works and adds a full color picker straight into your game, doing all of the things very nicely, and it just gives you a color output. You should probably use this in your game if you need something like this, and if you're in Unity. It's genuinely fabulous. I added a dynamic cursor that basically like gets bigger if you're gonna have like a big like explosion. There's also bouncy pads, and also like one-way platforms, that kind of stuff. And I made it so that if you are exploding from like the bottom of the screen, it's it's sort of normalized, so it's around the same as if you were to explode from the corners of the screen. Because again, there were some weirdnesses in how it was working. So next week, Jordan, in the words of Jordan, I'm going to do game jam. I'm sorry, because just constantly been hearing that in my head. I'm gonna do it. I'm taking part in that like interflexing jam thing that we're sort of doing over this weekend. There's like a discussions page about it. It's taking part in the Micro Jam 39, but the challenge is that, you know, a bunch of us are taking part. I don't know if anyone here is taking part in that as well. Maybe not. Check it out in the discussions channel. But all of us, we're trying to see like what we can make just with ourselves. So sorry, Brian, we won't be using the fun like app for that, because we got to come up with the assets all ourselves, everything like that, and see if we can make some ugly, non-working game out of it. Finally, one thing I want to say, because on the 10th of May, this is the final slide, 10th of May, I'm going to be leaving, but I will be coming back. But on the 9th of May, before I go, I want to do a Super Smash Bros. Tournament thing. I got a wrap from IKEA. Crystal said that like she'd be happy to do like an art for the winner, and I've got a whole bunch of Postgmust that I bought and I thought I'd get through, and I've not gotten it through. So maybe it might be here on that Friday. I don't know how to organize it. I'll work it out. Any questions? Hello.
Why does this bunny have wings?
That's a good question. It's because we wanted to see if we could get things working on the back. It's like the customization system. We've just slapped everything on. So maybe it could be a bomb bunny, maybe it could be a bomb bat, who knows? Yeah. I think that's everything. Brilliant. Thank you very much.
Next up, Johanna.
Who's that?
Johanna.
Hello.
One day I'll get you.
You know my name.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm Johanna, and I'm working on a Frog-like. And today I wanted to show our latest update that I posted today because I got late. This update I added some new sounds. It's a pond ambience. I think you can hear it. So yeah, it has bugs. It has bugs and some water sound and some bird sounds and some frog sounds sometimes. It's using Fmod to randomize between a bunch of sounds, and it took me all day to set up. Yeah, I'm gonna turn off the music so you can hear all of it. Yeah, it's also gonna pick a chapter with more water, I hope. I don't remember which one has more water. Maybe this one? No, I don't think it has more water. think that's it changes. So if there is a level without any water at all, it won't play any water sounds. And the more water there is in the level, the more water sound it plays. But the rest are used randomized. Don't move this. This one also doesn't have more water, so. Maybe this one. No, it also doesn't have more water, so I guess you will have to play the game. It's out on Steam, it's in early access, and we're updating every other week right now. And yeah, that's it. Any questions? Yes.
When would the new terrains be?
So I'm also working on new terrains, and it's very difficult. I'm struggling a lot, and I'm worried that I can't make anything better than this. That's where it's at. And so yeah, I don't know. Brian?
Do you have any plans to add any sound to the initial spitting of a tongue? I know that there can be multiple tongues, of course, and that would be maybe a bit much, but like a sound for like the tongue just popping out of the mouth at the beginning, or is that a thing you're going to do or not?
Yeah, I have a bunch of sounds sort of on my list of things to do, and yeah, one for using a tongue, and also because there is also no sound for actually hitting with the tongue. There is just a sound for there's a sound for eating a bug and a sound for picking up the XP orbs that they drop. So there's a lot of sounds missing, but I think it hasn't been brought up by players that much, so I haven't really been motivated to add more. I decided to add this pond ambience, well actually I was trying to add dynamic sounds for all the bugs, but I've been struggling with that too. Just as the art, I'm struggling with a lot of things right now on this game. And I just couldn't finish it, so I decided to go for the pond sounds because that felt manageable. Yes, but yeah, I wish to add a lot of sounds to give more feedback about all the things that happened. Really.
So with the water ambience, is it working in Fmod that, you know, the more percentage of water there is on a map, the higher the volume of the playback of the ambience, or is it something else? Or?
So it is telling Fmod the amount of ponds, and we have 4 amounts. There is none, few, some, and lots. I think so. So it's just taking that value and playing different
files.
Or
different events.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Any more questions? Okay. Thank you.
Next up, Hannes. Was tempted to just announce it as Hannes now. Message requests, probably. Upright, right?
Just, yeah. Right.
No, left.
Left.
There.
Okay. Yeah, easy.
Down.
Yes, hi, I'm Hannes. I just arrived yesterday, and I just want to quickly introduce myself. I studied graphic design with focus on 3D animation, but it's quite a bit time ago, and I worked for the last 8 years. I worked at the art gallery, so it was kind of a different job, like photographing artworks and programming the website and stuff. But I started to do my own art projects, and So I started to build little robots which do art by themselves by drawing on a paper. And so I started also to use Unreal to do a virtual version of it, which never really developed much, but that's how I started with programming. And I decided to quit my job there 2 years ago and started to take courses in Unreal and programming. And now I'm here. For the next few days I will work on this project here. It's more a learning project. It's a very arcade shooter game. And I probably will write it with Raylib and C just for learning programming. And yeah, later on I will have to see what kind of other stuff I want to do. But one project I started is here on the down is a VR game, a little bit like a puzzle. Yeah, I mean I will not reach this goal, but I really like this Red Matter game, and yeah, something in this direction maybe. But I have to see. Yeah. And I've booked for 2 weeks, and but hopefully we'll stay like 2 months or something like this. Yeah. Any questions?
What's on the next slide?
The next slide. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh shit! Sorry. What's your favorite artist?
Artist?
Yeah. Or illustrator.
Okay, this art gallery. It was actually it was more like very abstract art, so it was not figurative or anything. It was like also like yeah like more from the design side, like Bauhaus oriented, and architecture and graphic design. Like so, my favorite artist. Oh, that's a hard question for me. Like this one is Peter Vogel, who is not known, like, but he also built like electronics and started very early on with this kind of art, like interactive electronic music back in the 80s, yeah, when it was not common to do. Yes?
What's your favorite games?
Favorite games, like I already said, like Red Matter. It's a VR game.
Oh,
it's more
okay.
like a puzzle game.
Okay.
And I really like more story-driven games like Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2, and Cyberpunk, yeah, stuff like this. Yes?
Did you bring any of your drawing robots with you? Did you bring any of the drawing robots?
No, too bad, no. I have so much stuff. I plan maybe to camp, to start camping in 2 weeks. So yeah, no space for this. Too bad. Any questions? No.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I wouldn't trust any homie with that. We would have like colored floors all over.
I'm going to attach pens to the Lego trains.
Yes.
Oh. Next up, Luca.
Okay, there was a long clipping. So I'm a late entry to the registration. I just registered during the actual event. I'm part of the Berlin delegation. Basically, I'm a friend of Adrian and Dave. We work together in Saftladen Indie Games Collective in Berlin. I'm staying here for 2 weeks. I leave with the others at the 10th or 11th. And this is the game that I made. It took me 5 or 6 years now. It's called Rogue Voltage. It's like a very weird mix between sort of like a roguelike deck builder, but you don't have cards, but you have those machine parts. And you're sort of like wiring your own skills with this sort of modular system. And every combat you get a new piece and you need to find like different combos and create those, quite literally build like an engine that sort of creates those chain reactions, and then you fight against pixelated monsters with it. And yeah, so I've been developing it mostly by myself, as I said, over like 5 years. And now with the early access release, I have a little studio operation where I have 2 more people working part-time with me. So yeah, I'd be happy to talk to everybody and meet everybody. Oh, we can watch the trailer. Is it fine to watch the trailer? It's 40 seconds.
Yeah, that's fine.
So yeah, I crawled every free sound source for any electronics or lightning sound you can find on the internet. But yeah, I'm happy to be here, happy to meet everybody. And yeah, if you want to talk about like solo dev or self-publishing, I'm super happy to share some experiences. Thank you, happy to be here.
Hey, question first.
Oh crap.
We've made it so far.
Yeah.
Favorite game?
Favorite games? So we are just playing Magic the Gathering now, so I'm a huge sort of like Magic fan. PC-wise, of course, also Slay the Spire, FTL, this sort of stuff. Into the Breach is also like a big reference for this game. Final Fantasy when I was young. I play a lot of Dota 2, so this is basically my, the games that I love. Yeah.
What's your most favorite color in Magic?
In Magic, I'm a red player. I'm a red player.
Interesting.
Cool, awesome. So yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
How did you stay motivated to work on your game for 6 years, and are you tired of it yet?
I'm not tired of it yet. I had some sort of like a little annoyance with it, sort of like during the last year. But I think what was a big motivator for me is that actually people played it, you know, and the community is like a huge motor for me. That people are really helpful and also very creative to like come up with new things, and then they have ideas, and then I'm like, we can actually do this. So yeah, working with the community is like super fun right now. Yeah.
Question from the chat. What's your rank in Dota 2?
I'm like the 3rd from the bottom. I'm really, really bad. I play since forever, but I just I play my couple of things that I do. I'm not a tryhard. Yeah, I just play support. Cool, awesome. Yeah, but I'm here around, so if you want to chat, talk to me later.
All right. Hannes, this is yours, or?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. All right. That was the final one for on stream. Yeah, for all of you who are at home, stay there. We don't want you. But bye.